Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Earth's geologic history video. Today we're going to start with the Mesozoic Era. This is often referred to as the age of the reptiles. This is following the large Permian extinction, and we see the breakup of Pangea happen during this area. And the three periods that we're going to focus on are the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. After the Permian extinction, the world was a very desolate place, but this was also a time of great rejuvenation. During the Permian, Pangea formed, and right away during the Triassic then it starts to break up. During the Triassic we see the first corals appear. Frogs, salamanders, turtles, and snakes lived on and off the land along the coast. In the late Triassic we see the evolution of the dinosaurs and the first mammals appear. The Triassic ended the same way it started, with the mass extinction, though not as major as the Permian one. But the dinosaurs survived and lived on through the Mesozoic. During the Jurassic, the breakup of Pangea continues, and new oceans flood the gaps in between the drifting continents. At the top of the food chain in these new interior oceans were long-necked plesiosaurs, giant marine crocodiles, and sharks. Coral reefs grew in the warm waters where sponges, snails, and mollusks flourished. On land, the dinosaurs dominated. Brachiosaurs stood up to 52 feet tall, 85 feet long, and weighed 80 tons. The earliest known bird, Archaeopteryx, took to the skies in the late Jurassic, competing with flying reptiles. Don't forget the early mammals, who were biding their time until the Earth was free of predators. During the Cretaceous, the continents are still on the move. Flowering plants were spreading across the landscape with the help of many insects, like bees, wasps, ants, and beetles. Life in the Cretaceous looked a lot like life in the Jurassic. Giant sauropods dominated the lands, long-necked marine reptiles took over the seas, and hairy feathered birds filled the skies. Many new types of dinosaurs evolved. Toward the end of the Cretaceous, Triceratops munched on low-lying plants, and the Tyrannosaurus rex dominated in the north. Frogs, salamanders, turtles, and crocodiles flourished on the expanded coast, and shrew-like mammals ran underfoot in the forests. Here's a picture of what the Earth looked like during the Mesozoic, and you can see Pangea starting to break up here. At the end of the Cretaceous, much of this rich life, including all dinosaurs, perished in the extinction event around 65 million years ago. This is named as the Cretaceous Tertiary boundary, also called the KT boundary. And the reason they use a K instead of a C is because K is a traditional abbreviation for Cretaceous. The most widely accepted explanation for this extinction event is that a major asteroid impacted and its results affected on the global climate. Scientists have found a thin layer of sediment all around the world representing this time period. This layer is unusually high in iridium, which is rare in the Earth's crust but abundant in asteroids. However, this devastation also provided evolutionary opportunities for other animals. Many groups underwent remarkable adaptive changes after the extinction. Mammals, in particular, widely diversified after this extinction event. Next, we have our most recent era, also known as the Age of the Mammals, the Cenozoic. And this can be divided into the Tertiary, which is also subdivided into the Paleogene and the Neogene. And then our most recent period is the Quaternary. With dinosaurs and giant marine reptiles absent, rodent-sized mammals emerged from their shadows. Over the next 42 million years, they evolved and grew in size, number, and diversity. The continents still continue to drift apart, heading toward their modern positions. Europe and North America finally parting. The climate significantly cooled and dried, and sea levels dropped. Then, about 55 million years ago, we see a 9 to 14 degree Fahrenheit temperature spike over a few thousand years, killing off numerous single-celled marine organisms and some other invertebrates. The forests gave way to open areas and grasslands, and we begin to see herds of grazing mammals. Fish filled the oceans, along with sharks and other soft-bodied marine organisms. Whales first appear in the oceans during the Paleogene. Birds diversified and flourished, but the rapidly evolving mammals stole the show. By the end of the Paleogene, we start to see primates, horses, bats, pigs, cats, and dogs. By the end of the Neogene period, many of the continents were in their present-day position, with India crashing into Asia, producing the Himalayas, Italy pushes into Europe, giving rise to the Alps, and the shifting North American plate gives rise to parts of the Rockies and the Cascades. With many continents colliding together, this gave animals access to new lands, and we see elephants and apes wandering from Africa to Eurasia, rabbits and rhinos to Africa, and ground sloths migrating from South America to North America. Asian and African apes diverged, and several million years later, hominins split from the apes and chimps and adapted to two-footed walking and evolved to carrying food and tools in their hands. The most recent 2.6 million years of Earth's history is called the Quaternary Period. During this time, glaciers advance and retreat, sea levels rise and fall, and humans evolve to their modern form. At the start of the Quaternary, continents were just about where they are today. At 800,000 years ago, we start to see a pattern of ice ages. About 100,000 years of ice age, followed by warmer periods of about 10 to 15,000 years. The last ice age ended about 10,000 years ago. The Quaternary is often considered the age of the humans. Homo erectus appeared in Africa at the start of the period, evolving bigger brains and higher intelligence. And here we can see the continents as they looked during the Cenozoic and pretty much like they look today. So here's just a quick overview of some of the different time periods that we talked about. And what I like about this one is you can see the different animals that were around and the different types of life forms. So you can see it evolve from basic bacterial life up to multicellular, to animals, land plants, mammals, and humans. So that ends our video series on Earth's geologic history.